was planning a video in the future, my dad and me racing, because I got Glenn and he has a beautiful 93. I still don't know what year it is. I call it Old Purple. I'll put a picture of that also. But we were gonna race him because he's a big shit talker, and he's still like, man, I can stomp you. But there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I don't know if that's gonna happen. And I don't want to talk about the stuff right now until it's 100% certain. So,
surprise, motherfucker.
What's up, Jigga crew? So, based on the title and that first clip before the intro, you can tell this is not going to be a good video. In that first clip, I said that my dad was sick. And for many of you that don't know my dad, when I use the word sick, it's pretty bad, because in my 28 years of living, I've never once seen my dad get a cold, cough, nothing. Never seen him sick. So I guess we'll start in 2020. So I believe in December, my dad and his girlfriend at the time went to Massachusetts, Boston, to go visit our family there, because that's where we're from. So him and his siblings went out partying, and he partied hard. So when he came back from that trip, that first week, when I saw him, he told me that he didn't feel good. That it felt like he was super dehydrated all the time. And he was always drinking water and Gatorade and electrolytes and stuff. And it kind of made sense. It was like the way he drinks, I can believe he's hungover or beat up for a week. He went to the doctors, and they believed that he may have eaten something that involved COVID, or he may have eaten something that came across COVID, and they thought maybe he had somehow gotten COVID into his stomach, and that was making him sick. My dad used to work for the U.S. Guard. He was a mechanic. He worked on planes. He had left to do, I think he went to Indiana or one of those, a different state, to go teach a class. When he came back after 2 weeks, I noticed he was extremely skinny. Like, I'm at 230, and my dad's probably always weighed a little bit more than me. He's a little bit shorter, so we've always been around the same weight. But when he came back, he told me he was about 190. And for him, I've never seen my dad skinny. Only when he joined the military. So that was a red flag. So January, February, so March, that's when it came out. And he told us that they found out that he had cancer on his pancreas. It was stage 4 pancreatic cancer. At first, they were very optimistic. They were telling him, like, we can do all this treatment, chemo, all this stuff. We can get you to live maybe up to 5 years, 10 years if you're lucky. That's when that video clip came out. That was for his birthday. That was when, a couple weeks before that, that's when I found out that he had cancer. Me and my dad we were extremely close, but we're that kind of family. We're not emotionally close. Like, me and my dad haven't told each other we've loved each other in maybe 10 years. I haven't heard my dad say that since I was a kid. And it's not that I didn't know he loved me or anything. It's just, that's just not how we were. We didn't express it to each other. Months went by, you know, he got skinnier, things got worse. A couple months ago, my sister called me and she told me that the chemo's not working, that they found out the cancer is spreading throughout his body, and they gave him 5 to a year of life. He can live up to 5 months to a year. And that was maybe so August, June, July-ish. They ended up putting something into his chest. I can't remember what it's called, but because what the cancer was, it was causing him not to be able to eat, so he couldn't hold down food. He was always throwing up. So they put something in his chest that was pretty much giving him, I think, 33,000 calories. So that was helping him for a while. He felt good for that for a while, but he still couldn't hold down food. He was eating little bits, like when we'd go out to eat as a family. Him and his girlfriend got married, 2 months ago, I believe. And right after they got married, he right away after they finished saying the vows and everything, they had to take him to the hospital again. And I feel bad because, you know, like, they just got married, like, they've been together for 10 years, now they're married, and right away he has to go to the hospital. So he's in there for 2 weeks. He was out for a week. I called him, we talked a little bit, but my dad never really told me much. He doesn't really tell anyone much. And after that, he was like, oh, you, me, and your sister are going to have a dinner, and we're going to talk about the will, just in case something happens. So August 25th is when we had dinner. We talked about his will, you know, all that stuff. Just laughed, all that. When we were leaving, he went with my sister, because I don't live with my family. I live with my girl. So when we left, there was this... I had this urge. I don't know if it was urge. I had this feeling in my chest telling me I needed to tell him stuff. But, you know, we're not emotional, so I didn't. Just, you know, I told him, I'll talk to you later, Dad. Let's say a couple days go by. 29th comes. So that Sunday, we end up going playing laser tag and everything. My sister calls me. She's like, hey, Dad's feeling extremely bad. Sylvia's saying they're taking him to the ER again. That in California right now, I need to have a 72-hour negative COVID test or vaccinated, and I'm not vaccinated, so I can see him. So I was planning Monday. I was like, all right, Monday I'll go get my vaccination or take my COVID test, whatever, do both, so I can see him whenever. So we get home about 5:30, 6-ish, and then my sister calls me, and she's like, hey, some stuff's going on, and Sylvia's saying that we need to go to the hospital right now. So my sister picks me up, we go to the hospital. You know, they sign us in, whatever they had to do. And so they bring us into the room, and there's my dad laying on this bed. You know, like, I knew that this was the end for him, and it's just like, my dad raised us, my parents raised us, like, you know, death comes and goes, you know, it's just life. We all die. But it's so hard when it's your own parent, and it's extremely hard when you have to see it. So yeah, they took him out of the ER. They moved him up to some other floor. I think it was like floor 6. It was like some cancer floor or whatever. Like, he's been there this whole, like, they know him there, like, he's been going there this whole time. And but the problem is, like, there's only allowed to be 2 people. So my sister, of course, because she's vaccinated, she can go, and my dad's wife got to go because she took, like, that rapid COVID. She took the rapid COVID test, so, like, she was clear. But, like, I wanted to put up such a fight, and my sister made me promise I wouldn't make a scene just to go up there, like my dad was there when I was brought into this world. Like, I think it's unfair and some bullshit that I'm not allowed to be there to watch, like, for my dad's last moments because of COVID. You're like, bro, like, my dad's dying because of cancer. Like, what the fuck's COVID gonna do? Will make it, like, what? Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? My sister and his wife got to go, and me and my siblings had to go outside. About 8:56, my sister FaceTimes me. And as soon as I saw her name pop up, I already knew it wasn't fucking good. So I answer the phone. I can hear her and Sylvia, my dad's wife, talking. And that's when my sister says, Dad's no longer breathing. And I asked her if she was sure. And so, like, the nurse checked. And yeah, I heard that's when the nurse said it's confirmed that time of death was like 9:56. His base held a memorial for him. My dad used to work on the C-130s. At his base, like the forest fires that go on, his base helps, you know, drop the waters and drop in supplies and everything. So, like, my dad was extremely happy for that. So on Sunday, I'll put a picture right here. They put his name on the side of one of his planes that's going to go out and fight a fire. Like, my dad had a bunch of rat rods and cars and all these stuff that he wanted to build, but he always made sure that we had stuff we wanted. When me and the guys were talking about getting motorcycles, it was around my birthday. My dad, no hesitation, bought me Gwen. Like, he's like, alright, I'm gonna buy you your first bike, but after this, it's all free. It's all you, bro. And that's where that's the part that's gonna hurt me the most. Is like in the first video, I said I may not have a chance to ride with my dad. Now I don't. I'll never be able to ride with my dad. Because when my dad bought me the bike, he didn't have his bike at the time. And then when he did get his bike, he just had so much going on that he just never had time to ride. I just want to let you guys know what was going on. I know I missed a post. I missed an upload. I've been kind of quiet on Instagram. I've been posting a little bit on Facebook about like what's going on. Not really, just posting pictures. But it's been tough. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this video either. Like, I knew I had to make this video. Like, you guys know what was going on, because like, to me, like, YouTube's important. I explained to my dad the last time me and him actually talked alone. Explained to him like that YouTube's something I really want to do in my life. Like, I enjoy it. But he was telling me like you should probably find a career too and do YouTube as a hobby, just in case YouTube doesn't ever pick up. Like, he told me, like, the last time me and him really talked alone without anyone there, he was telling me, like, he's excited that I found YouTube and I'm doing YouTube because he's excited that I'm excited to do something and I'm so passionate about it. But he didn't want me to put everything else on hold for something that could not really blow up. And I get it. But to me, like, you guys are important to me. Like, some of you guys have been with me since day one of YouTube. Some of you guys are newer. To me, it doesn't matter. You guys are all important. So I feel like this is something you guys needed to know. But I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for understanding all this. So thank you guys, and I'll talk to you guys in a few weeks.